Hello there, and welcome to Giving It Beans episode 1.
It feels good.
Feels really good to finally be here. And we'll introduce the podcast. We're just going to waffle, basically. A couple of lads at University of Nottingham. We're going to talk about football, our football team. We're going to talk about just other shit. Just enjoy it. You, sir.
So my name's Charlie. This is the gorgeous man on my left, Max Balfour. And we just thought we've got our little IMS football team. Not little, we're global. We are global.
International.
And we've had socials following us along the way. So we thought, why not cap the list off?
Of course.
A little podcast from the best looking members.
Absolutely, I would agree.
Of the team. And so it's kind of just a podcast, just so you can follow along the team, get to know us a little better. Because I feel there's a lot to get to know. Get to know us a little better and keep up with the team itself.
It's not just about the team though, me and Dennett, we've had this idea in the works for probably about a year now, I would say. It's like just two people that just will give it beans, hence the title. It's not just going to be about the football team, we're going to talk about some other topics of debate. And get not this week, this is an introductory episode, we're going to get some guests on each week, different guests each week, so you've got that to look forward to, meet some characters and
characters.
Yeah, so I'll introduce myself first a little bit. I'm from Blackpool, shithole, we know that. I like football.
You can get battered when you go in there.
Yeah, I like films. Not got much to say, to be honest. I like beer. I like coffee, and I love Dennis Parched. So there you go.
My name's Charlie Dennett. I am from the Wirral, so not quite Liverpool, but I still try and affiliate as a Scouser. Following Liverpool, I'm also a fan of football and beer.
Yeah,
it's kind of
just got a lot of
this is all we have really to our personalities. So hopefully this podcast will get us more friends. Is the idea? Because we
at least one more.
At least one more.
We've got a cameraman.
Yeah,
so.
Clay's behind the camera, by the way. You're gonna hear Clay chipping maybe a couple of times.
Say hello, Clay.
Hello.
There's right. Well,
so I think the best thing we can do is start describing, because the way we're doing this, we're following kind of not completely, but an under theme of Dennis Parched itself.
Yes.
So if you want to start explaining what Dennis Parched is,
so we were in first year of university last year. We all met each other. We have a solid group of mates throughout the whole year, I would say. We all fell in love with each other, fancy in a gay way. And we basically just thought, you know what, some of us are into football, some of us like to play football, even if not into it. Some of us
can play football.
Don't even like football, don't like playing football, but fuck it, they'll come along for the laughs anyway. And we decided to make this IMS football team. IMS is basically just where you can get a group of mates or a society and just do a 7-a-side football team each week on a Sunday, 4 p.m. We're in the bottom division right now, and we have been for the whole season. But we're getting week on week. I can honestly say we are getting better, and I think there's Malaysia's in our future. That's what I would say. Malaysia's if you're like a top IMS team, you get flown out to Malaysia and you compete against other University of Nottingham affiliated IMS teams in Malaysia in this international tournament. So yeah, that's basically what the team is about. I mean, you can go into a bit more about.
I think just in terms of how we've been getting on, and slowly ticking along. Very slowly.
We're not good.
We were awful. Our biggest loss. You weren't playing, were you?
No,
it was potentially.
Might have been the worst day of my life.
It's the worst day of my life.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, even one of your parents dying doesn't really compare to getting hit by 15-1.
50
I'm gonna be honest.
And they're 40-minute matches.
Yeah.
So there's got to
concede
the golden minute kind of thing there.
40 minutes.
As the defensive partnership at the time as well.
Yeah, well, I wasn't on the pitch, mate. So
as the defender on the pitch.
Yeah, he was the defender on the pitch at the time.
But saying that, potentially the worst managerial debut anyone's ever seen.
So basically, I injured my knee, so I was meant to be out for 4 weeks. I was only out for 1 week, so I put it on the line for dip, obviously. And so basically, I came with a whiteboard in gaffer gear. Took over the management for 1 week.
It was the biggest fall from
Clay behind the camera is the manager, by the way. He's a big part of this club. You'll see his face in a few weeks, I'm sure.
But gotta save that below.
Got to save that beautiful face for a late date. And yeah, I basically turned up, was the gaffer for a day, tried to implement some new tactics, and
gone wrong.
we just got
The worst interim manager.
fucked. Yeah.
I think you must have been to blame.
I think that I have to take some responsibility. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can't say. I think there was players on the pitch really have to hang their head in shame more than I have to, but it was still a very dark day.
It was we had a new goalkeeper for the game as well, Ben Lewis.
Yeah.
It was his debut.
Yeah.
And he's played a couple of times for us since, and he's been quite good.
Yeah, I think that was maybe the worst debut.
Possibly the worst debut
in the history of the
football
sport. I mean, we've also got Jack. That was his debut in defence as well.
Another defender.
You know, he's been good for us the whole season.
Yeah.
And
conceded 15.
how he came back the week after that, because Jack, I wouldn't say obviously we mentioned him now, but we didn't know him that much last year. He wasn't like a part of the original squad. Very thankful to have him in the team. Don't get me wrong, he's one of our better players for sure. But to come back after losing 15-1 with a bunch of strangers, big respect for that.
Yeah, that's either resilience or a really lonely man.
Yeah, he's just very lonely. It's alright, we're all friends here.
It was more just the complete difference between the way you showed up in full, or almost in a suit, to be honest.
Yeah.
With the cap down, whiteboard, already tactics prepared.
God. Yeah, and this is why you don't try too hard, gentlemen. You are fingered, Fuck around, find out, I suppose. But anyway, let's talk about since then, because it's definitely been an upward trajectory since then. That was rock bottom. We've kind of gone to rehab. Obviously you can't really get lower than 15-1.
I feel like
slowly we are getting better, like week on week. I think the past we haven't lost by more than one goal in gotta be like 6 or 7 weeks now.
Yeah.
And we have lost a few of these games, but it's very narrow.
Oh, it's changed.
And we got 3 clean sheets in a row up until this last weekend. We've just had.
Shame our attackers.
Our attackers, I think the attack is where we need work for sure. I think the defence is getting better and it's pretty solid. I think for Div 4, I think we've got a good defence. I think up front we're getting better week on week. It's just. It's just about finding that.
I think we're not exactly getting helped by the refereeing standards.
Some of the refs are.
We lost one game out entirely from a shot taken. Was it completely off the pitch?
I think it was a good 2 yards.
Both the player and the ball were off the pitch. So almost impressive. To score.
The refs respect and turn up, but to get paid to just wear just fucking a puffer jacket and sit there smoking fucking vape on the sideline. It's a bit shameless, isn't it? Really,
it's not the worst.
I might become an AIMS referee next year.
Soon come.
Fuck it.
Soon come.
It's easy money by the looks of it.
Yeah, but we're doing a bit better recently, but getting a bit more fierce rivalry, I think.
Yeah, there's definitely we've played a few of these teams 2 or 3 times.
Starting to know everyone now.
Starting to know a few of them, and you know who's going to chirp up. You know you're going to put one through. If someone's getting lead broken, you pick him out before kick-off. I know that guy.
Some serious red cards. Shouts have been.
I mean, Dennett's got away with a few scandalous ones, I would say for sure.
Scandal's a strong word.
6'6", not the most technical baller. Just puts himself about. Gotta respect that. That's the job in the team. Exactly. So, fun times anyway.
Okay. But I think alongside the team, I think it is obviously we're a competitive team, we're global, we're borderline professional. But other than just our pure class on the pitch, a lot of it is to do with what goes on off the pitch as well.
I think we're probably the most followed IMS team. Potentially. Like we've got over 100 followers on Instagram. TikTok, get on it.
So
popping off.
Those, actually. At Danny's
Parched FC on both socials there. And just getting more and more global. We've done charity work.
Oh yeah, we are.
We are
generally just nice.
We made a few £100 for Syria and Turkey, just nice blokes like that. It's good to put yourself about while you're at uni, isn't it? So
get on the CV.
Get a group of people together and achieve something.
Move on.
We don't achieve anything on the pitch, so we've got to achieve some off the pitch, haven't we? Really?
We're not going to Malaysia anytime soon.
Maybe off pure charity work. Just
do a fundraiser. Just buy ourselves a plane. Fuck it, we're here, boys. We made it in the end.
What that sympathy is, And yeah, Danny's Parched. What a team.
It's going well. But in terms of like the socials itself,
the socials are massive. We got the awards night when we come back from Easter. We've had a few good nights anyway.
We had the AGM last year. There was a follow up from that one.
Oh yeah, the AGM last year was a special night for sure. At Go before we had like 4 crates in like 3 bottles of vodka, and we drank it all, and then went out in our shirts.
We got kicked out the club.
One of us got accused of doing cocaine. Don't think that really happened, but that's what we got accused of. So yeah.
Well, we're going again this year, and everyone's. Well, I'm already working on my bids to be
So
recrowned.
everyone's got to do a presentation to fight for their role in the club. You know, and
Competitive.
it's all fun. We've got a few more players this year as well. You know, from like Bluish, Jack, Hugh, a few of the guys that wouldn't have been there last year.
Trying to hook Clay off of his gap
I think
spot.
mate, Clay, you know, everything's up for grab as well. So say anything beyond that. But,
Not my gaffer.
hashtag not my gaffer. Yeah. What else can we say about Danny's Parch? You know,
Just that we're still going strong.
still going strong. I think you know. Yeah,
The promotion push is on.
it's on. If we can stop winning.
It's somewhat being like suppressed by the fact we keep losing. That
Yes.
being the issue.
That could be
that
a
being the
slight
main
problem.
issue. But other than that,
Yeah.
if we can cut that out and turn those into not only draws but maybe every now and then a win.
Gaffer, have you got anything to add on Danny's Parched? You know, you're the gaffer, so
Biggest club in the world, really.
it's a pleasure to be a part of it, isn't it? So.
Yeah, exactly.
I do feel honoured every now and then. We got some glorious merch.
Oh, it is the mug. I mean, we'll have to show you a kit next week, but this is the Danny's Parched mug. If you want one, £7. Message us on Instagram. It's a beautiful piece. Oh, I'll show you the other side as well. Team photo. Badge with the hashtag. Team name with the photo. Eye candy right there.
Gorgeous.
Beautiful merch.
Right.
Right, should we move on?
Danny's Parch.
What's next?
We've got a Clay shower thought cooking.
Plate shower thought. This is a running weekly theme, by the way. Clay's gonna give us a
He's
shower
a
thought,
wise
and we're
man.
gonna dissect our feelings on that shower thought.
Alfie Clayton he's a pensive man.
Yeah, he's a pensive man, but he's a
Not-
philosophical man. When he's in the
not-
shower, he do be crying, you know,
He's not
thinking
the
about
chance.
just these things.
Crying.
He be crying that people, you know.
Yeah, how many girls he has to speak to at one time.
Yeah, it's not easy for him.
What have you got for us, Gav?
Right, here we are. Let's go for life is all about you and not all about you.
Sorry?
Right, well, yeah, I'm gonna let you start on that one, I think.
So we'll dissect it. Life is all about you, but not all about you. No?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that is it. Okay. Right.
Is this like a riddle? Do we have to solve it, or is this just a...
Is there a problem here? Did you sing this? You okay?
No.
Are you feeling about
Are you alright?
I don't have any. I don't have any.
do you want to come over here?
I'm gonna be devil's advocate. I know what everyone's thinking behind the camera.
Life's all about me.
Life's all about not about you. You have to be selfless. But fuck it. Life is all about you.
Your life is
It's
all about
your life. You've got to remember that. And if you need to make other people feel good to make yourself feel better, that's still selfish. At the end of the day, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a selfish, a selfless deed. Remember that. That's a fact. Every time you do something,
Someone does
for yourself-
philosophy.
Yeah, I do philosophy, it's true, but I'm not a selfish person. I'm just gonna be devil's advocate and say we could go down the route that someone might think that.
Someone could, but I don't know. I feel like there are definitely people that are like that.
For
and
sure.
they'll only do a good deed for the sake of
Making themselves feel better. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But there has to be some form of.
No, I
Good.
would personally agree. Just doing good things is just. I was just being devil's advocate. I was just saying.
Fuck it, I'll be the prick.
Yeah, I'll be the prick if I have to be. I don't personally believe that. I think that you need to be selfless. Life's not all about you. I think that it's important to value yourself above most people.
But is that what it's saying? Is it saying that like, or sorry, is Clay saying that Clay's saying that it's all about? Is it the case of selflessness and selfishness, or is it all just about? Because your life is a finite amount of time.
Yeah, I think you have to put yourself first. I think that's important. For I would 100% say you have to put yourself first.
As much as you
it's
know,
not all about you. That's what I think.
help the fellow man,
Yeah.
love thy neighbour, whatnot. I think there is going to be a certain accountableness in which you can just say,
Of course. Yeah.
fuck it,
You've got a moral conscience. Everyone's got. a
I'm
moral
here to
conscience.
live.
Yeah, I agree. You can't have friends. You can't have good, healthy relationships with anyone if you just think about yourself all the time,
This is true.
or just live life like that. So that's there to say.
Wow, Clay.
Clay, I mean that's your shower thought.
Poor bloke.
Yeah, what was your when you had this thought in the shower?
What conclusion
When
did you
tears
come
were
to?
streaming down your face? What were you?
What song did you have on at the time?
Somber Tuesday night.
It's on the Tuesday night. It was an
Maybe
evening
lonely
shower.
on a
Was
Tuesday.
it a warm shower or a cold shower?
Warm shades.
Oh,
I mean, it's
warm
cold
shower.
outside, man.
Did you have like shampoo
Cold
in at
shower.
the time, or did you?
Huh?
Do you have a shampoo in the time? At what point in the shower was this? Were you washing?
How long was
What
the
were you
shower?
washing? Yeah, was it a long one?
Just
You really
a shower,
dissect
you
it.
know.
Yeah.
Quick dip, you know.
Dip.
Dip like that.
Exactly.
Good plug.
Sombering the thoughts, you know. That's,
Did you come
Oh,
to a
you're right.
conclusion, or was it just a?
there's no conclusion to a question.
You
like
think
that.
it's
What was
very
your
open-ended?
conclusion?
My conclusion? Oof. I suppose you know, we're all very small in this world, you know? It's a big old world.
Alex Lewis.
Alex Lewis would agree with that, I think, for sure.
We're all very
Well,
small.
cheers for bringing the mood from here to here, mate. Cheers for that, mate.
Yeah.
I've got more for you, mate. You want more shout for?
Let's go for one more. Fuck it, let's go for one more. Let's go for another shout for.
Cook.
The grocery store racially segregates apples.
Sorry?
What? Which, in what way, like?
You know, like you got your jazz apples, your pink ladies, you know?
Yeah.
Racially segregated.
That's,
I mean,
I suppose they do segregate them.
in it.
Is it racial?
Racial.
Can an apple have a race?
Can an apple have a race?
I don't want to get
Managed
controversial.
to turn a not so deep question into a very deep question again.
I mean, yeah, if you want to talk about, we could talk about apples as a metaphor. We could say apples are a metaphor for society. And this maybe what Clay's saying about, to separate people in your minds just because the colour they have or the taste they have or any of these things. It's just wrong. Yeah. And I think that's what Clay's trying to get out with this metaphor. We've got to try and unpick that, I think.
I think that you've got to dive into the unconscious mind of Albie Clayton is always a dangerous game.
It's, yeah, you don't ever want to try and get onto his wavelength because that can either go very well or very wrong for the person. Believe
You
me.
never want to know.
No
what's
one's
going
on his
Albie
wavelength.
Clayton's brain.
Yeah.
What do you think, Clay, on that front?
On the apples.
On the apple, we're still on the apples. Yeah, we haven't moved on from that one.
I just wonder how the apples are feeling, you know? Not enough people are, you know, checking in on their apples.
So if you're going to take anything from our talk today, it's
Yeah. If you want to take one thing from this podcast, just don't.
don't forget about your apples.
Yeah, when you've got that, you look at your free
It's
ball
like
back
youth,
home,
isn't
you know, and you see the green one on the other side from the red one.
Pull them together.
Maybe they want to be together, yeah. Maybe they want to be chilling together, yeah.
Don't leave them out.
That's life.
Check on your apples.
Check on your apples.
Keep an
Sure.
eye on your apples.
Yeah, if you want to take that metaphorically, if you want to take it literally, that's up to you.
Right, apples aside,
Let's get off that topic.
we've got a big weekend, haven't we?
Oh, are we on a boxing?
We're on the boxing.
Right, so on Saturday, me and Clay's housemate, not his housemate because his housemates are all losers, but our housemate is in a boxing fight for charity, for cancer research, and he's doing 3 rounds with some random man at another gym. Who knows who he's going to be? He could be 40, he could be 16, he could be hairy, he could be not hairy.
Any of these categories.
You don't know.
It's
It's,
gonna be like a
it's,
remake
it's
of
a real,
Dodgeball.
it's a real conundrum. I mean, I believe my boy Jack. I think he's going to pull
I
through.
mean, we've been hearing from what we've seen on all the training videos, the body cam footage.
Yeah,
He's a serious
He's a
fighter.
serious fighter.
He's a
I think,
threat.
you know-
However hairy this man may be,
I think Jake Paul could be getting called out at this event on Saturday.
KSI is looking for something to do in the next
KSI,
couple
if
of
he
months.
wants to come down to Nottingham, you know, let's do it. That's what I would say.
Just to warm up for the Tyson Fury
Yeah,
fight.
so I mean, like, we're going out. Obviously, the rest of us, it's just a good time. If you guys have ever been to a charity boxing
Suited
event,
and booted.
you get suited and booted, you get a bit drunk, you know.
We do.
I mean, we have to be somewhat in shape for the fights. I want to remember it, but yeah, it's be a good time. And, yeah, I mean, we've got a few talking points. So I mean, like, let's just go into
Open
this.
up to the floor.
Open up to the floor. You know, you're gonna find out a bit more about who we are, who some of our mates are, some of the guests that you're gonna be seeing the next few weeks are through these questions. You know, who's most like who's gonna be too fucked up to remember the fight? Who's gonna get too drunk too soon?
Well, there's definitely avenues to go down in this one. I feel like this could be an hour-long conversation.
I think that this is
It's
quite
quite political.
philosophical as well. It's political. I think
Economical as well,
it's
almost.
definitely
There's your
economical.
degree.
Definitely economic. That's you've got all 3 of my subjects
There you
in
go.
one.
So
Yeah, I mean, you could get medical if it gets that
You
bad.
could
You could
get
get medical as well.
hopefully not me.
Hopefully not medical. But I mean, yeah, my opinion, who's gonna get fucked up and not remember it?
You want to see how, because you can lean into the lightweight route. In which
Yeah.
case, Daniel Clark will be on the
I
floor.
mean, Dan Clark, but I think Dan will pace himself. I think he's responsible.
This is what
for
I
his drink.
mean.
I almost think that you could be a dark horse, Danny, because sometimes you just don't think, and you'll just down a bottle of vodka in half an hour. I mean, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. But
Thank you.
I think that
Appreciate not
my
quite.
overall answer is going to have to be Frank Wilson, because Frank he's usually a heavyweight. He's probably one of the biggest heavyweights in our group for sure.
Yes.
But when there's a special occasion, we know what he's like. Sometimes he just takes the piss a bit too much. and he might be in the bin before he even make it to the event. Never mind the fight.
Frank has a very large habit of ending up in a
Yeah, I
bin by the
mean,
end of
Frank will be completely sober. He'd be like chilling, just vibing, and then he'll about one extra shot,
like on Monday.
and he'll turn into a fucking gremlin.
Like on Monday.
On Monday, he fell into a puddle
And got spiked.
got by a lace cigarette by a homeless man. So this is the kind of
Don't
person,
accept cigarettes from
yes,
homeless men.
this is the kind of person that Frank Wilson is, and that's why I'm gonna have to go for him. What's your opinion?
Right, so Frank is, I feel like he's the big drinker of the group.
For sure.
My easy answer, not to go outside the box, not to throw a curveball, would be one of the girls.
Yeah.
It's boring.
Boring.
Which is why I'm going to do out my answer a bit. I think Alex Lewis is my dark horse.
It's interesting. Alex is not one of those guys. He's usually fine, but
He's usually
he'll have
fine,
that
but
once
we've
he
got
made it.
Alex on a sporting event. That's the
Yes,
difference.
and he's suited and booted because he's
Alex-
a Tory. That's like
He's a
what they
very
do.
southern man.
Yeah, he's going to take pride in being out for that kind of
The
occasion.
depths of Surrey.
Yeah.
The proper ends of the
Yeah,
country.
Like,
Once that man gets himself in his tux,
yeah,
he'll be drunk already.
He'll become his true self. I don't think we've ever actually met Alex Lewis.
No, I don't think we
I
have.
feel like he's an enigma. I think on Saturday we finally meet who is Alex Lewis.
Well, I mean, I hope so. There's
hope
got to
so
be
too.
some personality there somewhere.
I mean, it's exactly. I just wanted to make me laugh once. Personally, that would be a successful Saturday for me. I don't care about the fight, to be honest. No offense, Jack, mate, but that's how I would see it.
how many fights? Do we know how many fights it's actually going to be?
30 fights. Oh no, there's
30?
I think it might be 30 fighters, so it might be 15 fights.
That would make sense.
It starts.
we could have a tag
starts
team.
at 6 and goes on for 5 hours or
A
something.
Royal Rumble.
Could be a Royal Rumble.
Are they all 3 rounds?
All 3 rounds. I'm pretty sure. Obviously there'll be some differing levels of quality, but I think Jack will be
The best
one of the
out
more
them.
quality fights. I would assume.
You'd hope so.
I mean, what question have we got? Who's most likely to get in a fight at the boxing?
Jack.
I mean, true. Fucking
Other than Jack.
Other than Jack, I think there's really only one answer, and
Dom.
it's just. Well, I mean, to be fair, we forgot about Pum. Could be Dom because just twat.
and he goes
But
train.
I think my answer has to be Alfie Clayton. Every night without
Gaffer
fail.
is an aggressive man.
He's the man. He'll never actually get into the fight, but he'll get you into the fight.
No, but that's the contingency in that question, because he'll start the fight, but will he be in the fight?
Yeah, that's true. It depends how you look at it. Yeah,
It's a deep question when you break
question.
it down. No, but there was a couple times last year, wasn't there? Because when we were staying in Sherwood Hall on campus last year, and so the rivalries with the other halls on campus became quite heated.
It's massive.
We had the biggest derby day was always Rutland. but
Rutland Hall.
We always had a derby too.
Disgusting people.
It was the derby.
Derby.
Derby Hall was not one of our favourites, and there were a couple of occasions where Clay's patriotism to his own hall ended up in some gross situations for everyone else.
Yeah, you get on a double decker bus at 4 AM after the club, and
expected
and
normal
you
ride
walk up
home.
the stairs and you just want to sit down and have a good time. But Clay goes up to this guy at the front and says, "What hall are you from?" And he says Rutland, and he just starts chanting about how Rutland. What was the words?
I don't think we can repeat.
I don't think
words.
he can repeat the words, but he was saying some things that should not be repeated.
Disgusting things.
Disgusting things.
Not
that,
encourageable.
it's not a thing that you say to another human being, really. It doesn't matter if they're from Rutland, but Clay was doing it, and then, of course, the minute this guy got a bit rowdy, Clay disappears to the bottom of the stairs, and guess who's at the top? It's us two. We have to deal with it. It's standard Alfie Clayton.
And we're not the biggest fighting blokes.
I don't think we are. No.
So it wasn't a case of
We don't go
that's
out
bad
with
with
this
boys.
guys.
It was, I'm really sorry.
Settle the situation now.
I'm really sorry.
Don't want to see Clay get battered on.
Please
double
don't hit
decker.
me.
Yeah, please.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't hitting my mate.
My cat ran across my keyboard.
Literally.
What else have you got in the fight?
I'll give you one more question.
Most likely to ruin their suit.
Oh my god, that's a philosophical
Right, so there's a
question.
tosser there. What do you mean ruin their suit?
I think spill drinks on it, or just
So
lose
spill
something,
drinks,
or,
spill drinks,
or rip something.
spill drinks, throw up, fall over in some kind of way. The 3 avenues.
Yeah,
in my mind.
I would agree with that.
You fit into all 3. If I'm completely
I don't
honest.
really throw up very often.
No, but when you throw up, and it never ends up anywhere but you.
Yeah, that's true. I think let's start off with the throw up then.
Most likely to throw up. I wouldn't say it was you, but
Who's precarious with a tactical chunder, but not a tactical, like just a This is what I mean. If you throw it up on yourself, that's not a tactical chunder. Yeah, maybe you.
It's me or Dom.
Maybe Dom. Oh, Rue can get pretty fucked up on it.
No, but does he throw up? Because
No.
the minute I drink, I feel sick.
Frank will be alright. Alex Lewis.
Nah, he's not bad.
I think it's what I mean. He'll take credit if he's touched too much because his whole personality is that
This
he's
tucks in
Tory.
his
So,
But also, he doesn't like. There's no Alex doesn't get drunk.
you can't.
No, in terms of like, it's
Yeah.
not like, when everyone else gets drunk, they're a bit like, oh, a
Yeah.
bit ill. Alex just hits a point and then
Yeah,
there's
it's like
nothing
so-
behind the eyes.
Yeah. Actually, I would probably say that maybe me. I don't think I will, but
It's
if it was
probably me.
If I had to, I probably won't throw up because I don't throw up very often. But if I do throw up, it's going on myself. I don't throw up in the toilet. That's just a fact. I never know when it's coming. So
Most likely to fall over, Frank.
that is definitely Frank. That's not even a debate.
This man falls over every night out.
He falls over all the time. But we can just move on from that. That's
That's just
slightly
it.
just Frank.
That's it.
They decided to just drench themselves.
Again, you're up there.
I think I'm up there because I do. But
But
I
also
think
Dom.
we've got to get that picture up with Dom.
Oh, that's an amazing photo.
You know what I'm about, Gaffer.
Oh yeah.
There's the signing on. Is it on the Instagram?
No, I never got the photo. I only got it like a couple of weeks
Oh,
ago.
really?
Yeah, so
We might have to do a little announcement.
Well, he's been playing for some months now. Maybe next year. Maybe end of next year.
We can announce him as someone that isn't a stepping goalkeeper.
Yeah. But it's,
When he
it's
scores,
photo-
when our striker finally scores his first goal.
Basically, this was like the first couple of weeks this year. We were signing up a few extra lads for the thing. It's house party that we know loosely. Dom is obviously one of our housemates, so we were like,
One who
we
shall
can
not
play
be named.
football. He's the one which shall not be named. There is one that shall not be named.
One shall not be named.
Moving on. So Dom, we basically just getting him to pose with Clay, the gaffer, with like a handshake for the Instagram. I never got this photo, so it's not on the Instagram. But Dom in the photo, his eyes look like he's
He's
on
just drenched
something.
head to toe.
Clay's just there like.
He's somehow developed.
I don't know
a
how
lazy
he's
eye.
got all his drink on his fucking jumper.
He's
He's
looking
just
like-
drowning.
His eyes are like that. They're looking in different directions.
Bear in
He's
mind that this
covered
man
in,
like knew no one at this house party.
Probably like
he's-
18 different
He's
alcohol.
he's not. No, I can't say that actually. He just doesn't really know
He's
anyone from last
a bit of an
year.
incel.
So at this house party, he knew no one. He was still just that fucked up that he had shamelessly just fucked to my bottle of wine on his jumper. I don't know what the fuck it
There's
was.
no way you could have done it without it being on purpose. It's happening like something doing, just going straight across.
Fucking hilarious.
Just pouring it all down his face. I feel that's definitely the case on that front.
I feel like Dom is also the kind of guy that will just forget he's wearing a suit and will just accidentally just start.
Just start like
shit.
chopping a pint out.
Yeah.
That's a consideration.
The chop of
The Alex
Frank
Lewis chop.
Or the Alex and Frank
Because
chop.
when Alex will go and chop a pint, but he won't
Rue
chop
likes
it.
to chop a pint as well.
No, but Rue will. This is what you gotta remember: is Rue and Frank will chop a pint. Alex will compensate and just go whoosh
Yeah.
and miss his mouth.
Yeah. Cause yeah.
So there's so many avenues to this question.
Yeah.
God, these are better than Clay's shower thoughts.
I think these have been way more better debate. I mean, Clay, I respected how deep they were, but I think maybe next week a bit less deep. You know, I was nearly crying.
I just feel like I'm almost more worried.
Yeah, I think that after this camera shuts off,
We're gonna have to.
we're gonna have to do
pull
a little
the sides.
intervention.
Poor kids.
Or we could all just kiss. Yeah. I mean, what's after the boxing? I feel like we spoke about the boxing. Next week the boxing will also be there because we'll do the review of the boxing. We'll get Jack on, hopefully, if he's
Get the whole story.
Yeah, we can get him on and just get him to dissect the fight, what he's doing. And, you know,
Well, I'm quite hopeful.
I'm quite hopeful. I think he'll win,
I
but
think, you know, it should
even if he doesn't win, I think it's going to be one of the best fights because if someone's beating him, they have to also be a good boxer.
just jump in the ring.
Yeah, it's a good experience no matter what, isn't it? I suppose we could all just
Go help my
we
guy.
could just jump in as well. I suppose.
Send Clayton.
I mean,
From
if
what
you
we've
send Clayton, fuck me.
He's clearly got
Been
nothing
nice
else to
knowing
live
you,
for.
mate. Clearly got nothing else to live for. So, yeah, I mean, what else?
I
Was
think we can move on to the underrated 11.
This is our final segment. We've just done a little. Just, who knows ball better? We've done an underrated
I
Premier
think
League
that's the
11.
question.
I mean, I think
Max,
it's-
I hate to admit
I
it,
don't
Max-
really think it's a question either, but
Max is a proper football Twitter fanboy, and
A lot of pride on
there is a lot of pride there because I don't want to. There's hundreds of thousands of followers. Well, I might knock his reputation
yeah,
down a few
I might
points with this
have
one.
to deactivate after this.
It would be embarrassing to lose to such a common football watcher like me.
Yeah, agreed.
And hopefully we'll try and avoid bias because I'm a Liverpool fan. and you somehow support Chelsea. I don't know. you
Yeah,
can-
I mean, my family
do that with
are
pride.
from the south, so that's why I support Chelsea. But yeah,
Okay.
you can start us off.
Right, so it's 4-3-3.
Should we do just each position?
Do each position one by one, then we
We
can
can do
argue
like
it.
both centre backs at the same time.
can argue
And all
it.
3 midfielders at the same time. So, but yeah,
Cool. It's probably go for a 3-back.
deal with 3 backs. But
So, in goal.
I've got the Crystal Palace goalkeeper Vicente Guaita. I think he's not the tallest goalkeeper, but he's a good shot stopper. Whenever I see him, against the big teams, he's always making saves. I think he must make the most saves out of all the keepers in the division. Like he must be up there.
Alisson.
But yeah, but like Liverpool, well this season they have been, but in general I'm saying over the past 2 or 3 years,
Yeah.
Palace haven't got that great defence, Like last season I think Palace had like the 5th best defence in the league, and like he was obviously a big part of that. So I think that's why I've gone for him.
That's fair enough. It's fair enough. I think there's quite a few.
I think the
There's-
keepers is quite easy.
There's quite a few, isn't there? Because
Yeah.
you got the 3 big ones this season being Pope, Alisson, and
Yeah,
maybe
I think that Pope
Ramsdale.
and Alisson are rated already.
no, that's what I'm saying. I was right. So not as my underrated goalkeeper, but as a little side pot maybe. I fully want to put Alisson in there because I think just purely based on
Yeah.
the fact there's people still in the world that don't accept that he's the best goalkeeper.
I agree that he's the best keeper in the world.
And
That comes
today he was fucking left out of the Brazil squad.
was he?
Yeah, he hasn't been like even Edison's confused. The backup keeper's
yeah.
like, why is this guy not starting over me?
That's very strange. I don't even hear about that. But
So
it's very strange. Maybe
Underrated.
I should have put Alisson. Yeah.
underrated by some Brazilian wanker.
Yeah,
But my underrated goalkeeper is Bern Leno.
I think it's a fair shot.
Because I think, no one thought coming into the season Fulham would be sat in 9th where they are now.
No.
And I think a lot of that is to do, obviously they've been quite good going forward, but they have had, Leno's been very good. And there are a
and
couple
they
more
got him
ones
for
that we're
like,
mentioning.
what was it like? Is it like 7
And
mil?
to go, like, and he was the Arsenal, he was never like,
I mean, Martinez took over him for a bit, and then they
Yeah.
got Ramsdale, didn't they? But he was. I don't think he was ever bad for
yeah,
Arsenal.
he was always pretty decent.
Yeah,
And Arsenal,
nothing special.
a big club keeper who's always been pretty
Yeah, I thought he was good.
solid.
I think Fulham, yeah, he's
They're
been
giggling, aren't
excellent
they?
this season, hasn't he? So yeah,
Newly promoted team.
yeah. Leno's
Right, I think right back is probably the hardest one. 'cause
Yeah,
don't think there's
I
been that
couldn't
many
really
to-
find many. I went for Kyle Walker-Peters at Southampton. I feel like most people that watch him do rate him, but like I
He's
still
rated.
feel like when England have got a lot of good right backs, and I feel like he's the one that
Gets
never
left out.
really he's never been in the squad. But I think that's fair because then there's better right backs than
Yeah,
him.
of course.
But I think that he's good enough. And he can also play left
Totally
back.
is
I
as
think
well.
he should get.
Yeah, I think he should definitely make the England squad just for that, if not even
Yeah.
just to try,
I think he's very good. So
but just to try him on that right back, left back. But I just don't know. Can you Southampton?
yeah, it's close down there. I think Southampton have not been good, but I think Kyle Walker-Peters is definitely one of their better players.
Okay.
For sure. Him, Ward Prowse, and haven't got that many good players, have they? He's definitely up there.
Okay.
He's a good right back. It's not.
Right. So the only one I was kind of like, this is some form of ball knowledge was the goalkeeper, and it just goes downhill from now on. I want you to know that, and I apologise to anyone that cares about football in any manner for this list. Right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
I get
Just because
where you're going for
he
it.
was rated so highly,
Yeah.
and then
That's
everyone
fine.
just thought he was the shittest excuse for a defender.
To be honest, I never ever rated him. I think he's.
I always
He's been
bought
good at
that,
slide tackles. I don't even think he's that good
which is the
defensively.
most compulsive part of football.
Yeah,
the art of the slide
To be
tackle.
fair, this is why you picked him. Because it's you must be all
There
your
will be a
idols.
common theme.
All you do is slide tackle, so you're basically the same player as him.
You will see a
Um,
common theme with my defenders, actually. No, but I just think because he was so good
Yeah.
at Crystal Palace.
I think if he went back to Palace or something, I think he would get rated again.
Yeah, fully. But I just
Defensively, he's not.
I
that
think
good.
currently, and Diego Dallo at one point, people were like when he was good, people were like comparing him to Trent, and there was an argument there. And I think Wan-Bissaka has been good as, if not better than him this season.
I don't agree with that.
Than
But-
Dallo?
No, I think Dallo's been pretty good this season.
I
But
don't know.
I think Wan-Bissaka, he just can't
I
play
just think
in a
one-on-one.
team that wants to play football.
I
Wants to play
do get that,
attacking,
but
I don't.
as a one-on-one
I don't
right
see
back, because you got
No,
Luke Shaw.
one-on-one, I agree. If it's just a one-on-one against a winger, yes. But I think other parts of his defensive game, his positioning, and where it's been so many times where in the back stick he'll just get caught out or he'll give away a stupid foul. I don't think he's as good a defender as some people
Fair enough.
make out. I think it's just he's rated that good as a defender because he can't attack.
Yeah.
So people are like, well, he must be good because of his defensive abilities.
Fair enough. It was a bit of a right back's hard.
Yeah, I agree.
This
right
season.
back is not an easy one, but yeah.
Right.
Left back or centre backs? Do left back?
We'll do left back.
Yeah.
Do you want to go?
You go first. I've done first.
Dan Burn.
You know what? I actually don't mind that. I didn't think about that.
I think it's amazing.
I think that's not a bad shout. He's obviously not a conventional left back.
He isn't at all, but I love it.
He's a
He's
centre
what,
back player,
6'6",
6'7",
left
I think
back,
he is, yeah.
and he just bombs the line for no one. This man has got like altitude
For
sickness.
for a man of that height, he's
He
good
can
on the
shift,
ball.
man.
Like, yeah, he's played under
He's got
Eddie
a
Howe
shift
and
on
Graham
him.
Potter now, and
It's
he's played.
ridiculous.
Like, you have to be able to play football to do that. So
He's got a shift on him.
yeah, he's. I think that's.
I love him. It's just anyone like any footballer.
Brexit
Is like,
values.
Wout Weghorst,
Yeah.
Dan Burn.
Anyone as tall as you, mate. I suppose. I guess we get it. You're tall. Right? Fucking hell. Yeah.
Right, go on.
My
Keep
left
mine.
back. I also think this is kind of a boring one, but I've gone more like the point that people haven't spoken about it that much, and it's Estupiñán from Brighton.
I think
I think like
underrated,
Cucurella last season. I think obviously I don't think he's been as good as Cucurella was last season for Brighton, but I think
He's definitely
Cucurella got a lot of hype, and that's why
Yeah.
he was wanted by City and eventually went to Chelsea for this ridiculous money.
But you love him now.
I always like Cucurella. I think he's been overhated at Chelsea this season, but I think Estupiñán, like, they've not lost anything when they signed him.
There's no like you can't see any.
I'm not saying. I think like people that watch him, they rate him, but I feel like he
Yeah.
doesn't get as much hype
You'd
as
say
maybe he deserves.
Cucurella probably was better. It's just
Yeah.
a case of you haven't.
They're
There's
different.
no noticeable
Estupiñán's a bit
gap.
more of an attacking. You know, I
Yeah.
think like the reason why Matobin able to play so well this season as well is because he's got
They
Estupiñán
can work
behind him.
together.
You know, like
I'm saying
a
it's
winger
not
needs a
worth
good
shouting.
full back. He's rated now though,
Okay.
but yeah, I think Estupiñán's just. I think most people think he's good, but I think he's better than that. I think he's maybe top 5 left backs in the league. I mean, there's not that many good left backs in the league. You could be higher than that, to be honest. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
So, 2 centre backs.
Right. So, I've got my first one is. He might be a bit controversial, but I've always rated him, and I've never really understood why he's not been rated, and that's Victor Lindelof. I think like he's not played whatsoever for United this season. I get that. I think Varane and Martinez probably are better, but I think like him and Maguire in that first season when they were partnering together, they were pretty good defensively that season. United, I don't think they had a bad defensive record, and I think that Lindelof, like, he's good on the ball. Like, he's very good on the ball. I think people
He's got
maybe
such a mistake in him.
maybe, but I don't think he's that mistake prone. I think when you're playing against Maguire as well, you've got to be the quick one. And he's obviously, I think people have accused him of being a bit lightweight, but I don't really see that. Like when I watch him, I think he's just a solid defender. He's good on the ball.
I think he's
I like him.
okay, but I don't, he's never Man United level.
I don't really think he ever did anything bad for United. I just think he's good. No one ever talks about him anymore, and
He doesn't play.
he doesn't play. Yeah, so I think he deserves more than that. Like I think if you sent him to like a Brighton or a Brentford or someone like in that top
Well,
half
he
the
could
table, he would shine. I think he's that
Yeah,
good.
someone could come up, couldn't they? Like maybe Vincent Company could scout him out.
Yeah,
As he comes in.
maybe I don't know. I mean, do you want me to say my second one or?
Yeah, go on. You.
I mean, my other one is he's been injured a bit this season, but it's Levi Colwill, and as a Chelsea fan, this is my one.
Oh, a little.
It's
close
actually
to
one of my 2 Chelsea shouts, but Colwill is genuine. I think people don't.
Colwell's very good.
People don't deep how good this guy is. Like,
As a left foot.
I think he is top 3 young left-footed centre backs in the world. I think he's that good. I think he's special. Like you watch how good he is on the ball, how good he is defensively, like mature for his age. I think
he is for sure very good.
Chelsea's academy gets a lot of hype, but I'm one of the Chelsea fans that's not. I'm not always hyping up our academy. I think our academy actually produces quite a lot of shit, but Colwill is one of the few that I'm like, okay, this guy's actually the real deal. I think he could be a big player.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, he's definitely. I mean, it's going to be interesting the next season though with him and.
And we've still got like Fofana, Silva, Koulibaly. We'll see what happens, but I think he'll get games because he's good, and like Badiashile is also good. But they
Just as your left-footed centre back.
if we play in 3 at the back, they can play together. Like
No, that's true.
yeah.
Well, speaking of him, he's my one Chelsea player.
But Colwill,
Badiashile.
Badiashile.
I know it hasn't been long, but I know you love him.
I tempted to put
After
him.
watching quite a few
I think
Chelsea
I just
games.
think like I want to give him a bit more time. Like, he's only played 7-8 matches. I don't. It's not a big enough sample size, but so far he has been amazing so far. I have to say,
Yeah.
so it's a good shout.
Yeah. And my other one, following on from my earlier point, is Tim Ream.
Tim Ream. Is that? I don't know about that one.
I just think he's how old? Just showed up out of nowhere
some
and just
yank, like yeah.
some yank that's just popped up out of nowhere.
Well, when Fulham came up last time, Tim Ream was like awful.
Yeah, and
Didn't
now
get
he's
into
good.
teams. But this season, to be fair, he's been the captain. He's played.
I thought he's been, and he's
Most
just a
games,
bit
hasn't
of a prick as well.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't have him in this team. I don't think he's that good. But
I think he is underrated though.
yeah, I mean, no one talks about him, so I suppose by definition, if you're
There you
starting
go.
for a team that are ninth in the league, week in, week
Exactly.
out, and captaining them, then you have to be alright, don't you?
And I think they've been quite alright.
Yeah, the back they've been fine. Yeah, it's another extension of the Leno point, I guess. It's not an awful shot. It's not one that I would have thought of straight away, but yeah, fair.
That's why I'm niche. No,
Right,
I'm not
go for your midfield.
I've got a more defensive minded one, so I'll go for that first.
Yeah, and then we'll do the two in front of that. Okay.
I've got Xhaka,
Don't hate it.
because I just think I know he is appreciated more,
Yeah.
because obviously he was hated, very much hated. for
Even
a
by
couple of
Arsenal
years.
fans, yeah.
They all wanted him at the club. They all thought he was kicking off all sorts of run-off pages. But I just think, obviously Arsenal's team is full of talent this season. Fuck them all, but
Oh, yeah.
full of talent.
Oh, yeah.
I just think he's gone under the radar a bit. I wanted to get an Arsenal player in there,
Yeah, to be fair, I
and I
I
think
am
he's
an
been
Arsenal
slightly
player,
less
but-
appreciated than obviously the parties, the early
Yeah.
guys, who you'd argue have been better. But I just think Xhaka's
No, I think
been
Jack
really
has
solid.
always been a bit overhated
Yeah.
in the Prem. I think because he's got that like attitude. I think at times he's cost Arsenal in big games.
Yeah.
Obviously, like when you do that, that's. But I think he's always been a good player. Like he's always been good on the ball. He's always been a solid player. Like, I don't think. I think you Arsenal fans could say he's been a flop when they signed him. Like obviously a lot of hype, but yeah, I think it's not a bad shout. I mean, my defensive midfielder is Bruno Guimaraes, which is going to sound weird. Because everyone rates him. Everyone rates him, and everyone sees how good he is. But I don't
still think he's
I
underrated.
think he's the best player outside.
He's like linked with Real.
Outside of like the big six, he's by far the best player in the league. Like I think he could start for.
I mean, we're outside.
I actually don't think there's. I don't think there's a team on the planet that he doesn't start for. I genuinely believe he's that good. That might sound ridiculous. I think that's why I'm saying he's
But do
underrated.
you not think the fact
Like,
that
people
he's
say,
like,
oh, he's a great Newcastle player, but I think
he's a great player.
I think he's top
don't
5
disagree
mids in
with
the
that.
league.
Yeah.
I think he honestly is that good. Like,
But I just think the fact that you can't, someone that's linked with the Real Madrid and the Barcelona, you can't say
but like,
he's underrated.
what did they sign him for? Like 30 mil. Like,
It's an incredible.
you look
business.
at like.
and it's never.
You look at Bellingham, he's going to go for 150 mil. And you look at Enzo Fernandez, he went for 105 mil.
Guimaraes is just the same player.
I think Guimaraes is as good, if not maybe better than both of those players.
Probably,
I actually,
yeah.
that's what I mean when I say he's underrated. I think
That's
still-
fair. It's fair on that front. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Money wise, he's underrated. But I think
People
if
rate
he goes to someone like Madrid, they probably will pay the Fernandes money for him.
Yeah,
Especially to a club like
maybe,
Newcastle, who
Maybe. I
don't
think
need
Madrid have got
money.
other targets, so that's what I mean. Like, I think he should be at the top of these lists for clubs, but he doesn't seem to be. I don't know.
Fair enough. Do you want to go into the rest of your midfield?
Yeah, I mean, I got my 2 number 8s. So the first one is Conor Gallagher. Just I don't even particularly.
I
rate him.
fucking love it.
I just think
I love that shout.
I just fucking love him. Like
He's just
he
amazing.
comes on
He's
for
just a
he comes on for
Labrador,
30 minutes at Chelsea. Every game, 30 minutes. Does his bleak test. Just runs at people, snaps him, just puts in 100%. That's what he does. Just barks at people, runs them down. He's like a dog playing fetch. That's how good he is.
It's just.
I just respect him
He's
massively as a human being.
he's such an untechnical baller, and I just love
And
it.
like you look at how bad Palace have been this season. Well, not they're 12th. I don't want to exaggerate, but like how much better they were last season.
Yeah.
And like they bought players in the summer again.
You can clearly see
Like
the gap
Gallagher,
is
like they thought that Eze was going to fill that gap, but 2 different players. And Gallagher's
he
just that was
does
that,
everything.
Gallagher was doing a lot for that team.
Like-
Like, I don't think he's great for a team like Chelsea or someone who wants to play
no,
massive
but
technical
he's just.
football.
I would love him at Liverpool.
Yeah, he's a good sub to have, like a good.
I
squad
think
player.
Potter, because Potter brings him on at right wing, and then you'll all of a
just
sudden
runs
see him
around.
making like ridiculous leaping slide tackles at left back in like 30
Yeah,
seconds.
he's
later.
everywhere.
Yeah,
that
he's
man's got 3 lungs.
The
like.
weirdest footballer I've ever seen in
Yeah.
my life, but I love him.
I respect
to
it.
bits.
And then my other number 8 is Pablo Fornals from West Ham. I think he is very good. I think this season West Ham, like Moyes has obviously had to try and like fit in Paqueta and Scamacca and some of the other lads. And I think
Yeah.
Fornals, like he's
One of
always
the-
been a
yeah.
solid player for West Ham. Like he works hard, he's good technically. He's just
I
a
think West
solid
Ham
player.
is so shit.
But I don't think Fornals has played as much this season, and he should be. I think he's that good. I think he's underrated
Yeah,
player.
Moyes is looking a bit shaky.
I think he's gonna go soon, but yeah, I mean he's done a good job the past 2 years, so he's got a bit of credit in the bank. So.
Okay, that's fair enough.
What are yours?
Jensen and Andreas Pereira.
Oh god, where do we go with that one?
I think Pereira, right? It looks like I'm a massive Fulham fanboy, but I just think they've ridiculously
Right,
performed.
Pereira's been good this season.
I think Pereira's been really good. I think
He's just not good.
he is good.
He
was,
He reminds me of
like,
Bruno.
What?
Bruno's good, but he's like a much worse version of Bruno. Like he's very wasteful. Like
Yeah, but I just think he's just a spark. He just does things. I'm like, oh, you're good.
Fairs. I mean, he has got that. He has got that in him for sure.
I mean, I just think Jensen's been very good for Brentford.
I mean, yeah.
I think you have to get Brentford.
Jensen, no one will ever talk about Matthias Jensen, I suppose. In that
Exactly.
sense.
No one's gonna rate him,
He's
and
a
so
solid
I
player.
will.
He's a solid player, I suppose.
He's been good.
Yeah. Fair.
That's all I have to say.
I mean,
They've
yeah.
both just been good, and
Yeah.
Pereira's an incredible fantasy asset,
Yeah.
which probably was about 70% of the reason I picked him. Not fair.
Fair enough. That's as far as your ball.
In all shamelessness.
In all shamelessness. Right, go on. You crack out your two wingers.
Right. Darwin Núñez at left wing.
I knew he was going to be it. Yeah.
Darwin Núñez is underrated. Like, he's slowly getting some more recognition, but I'm still fucking angry about my fucking TikTok line. Just every episode, every single video on TikTok was just a video of Darwin Núñez falling over for about 3 months. And I will never forgive the internet for that. He
did get over-slandered. But...
I think it might not even be, like, you know, the boy, he's a bit special. He makes mistakes.
a bit special.
He's a bit special.
My brother.
He makes mistakes. He's a bit erratic, but, like, at the same time, I just love him.
Bez.
And he's such a chaos baller. And I think if you actually break it down into, like, I know you don't want to look at them all the time, but when you look at the stats
No, he's done well.
of
like,
when Liverpool
statistically.
have him and when Liverpool
Yeah.
don't,
He makes a difference, especially for you this season. You've been quite poor. I think
he's been really shit. And sometimes when you're shit, you just need that little spark of chaos,
Yeah.
and he's been.
And he does always stuff's always happening around.
But I think he's getting his confidence back and he's maturing.
I mean, you're obviously a Darwin fanboy, so
I do adore
I
him.
wouldn't put him in my underrated 11.
No, but I feel like
I get
people
where
still
you're coming from.
I still think people there's still.
I think he's overhated more than he's
Yes.
underrated. I
Which
think
is
that's-
more the line I'm going down.
Yeah.
But I'm so upset
it's
about
fair
that.
enough. Yeah.
I just think one day he's going to be a fucking record beater.
Yeah.
I can't
What
wait.
about you, right winger? I think I saw the name, and I'm not even gonna speak on this one. I just want you
I
to
have
explain
been
yourself.
following this footballer for years. I was so happy when he finally got into the Prem because I had him on some fucking like I think it was a Blackburn or something career mode
Oh, God.
like 4 years ago. Bobby De Cordova-Reid. I think he's been incredible.
He's been.
I think
He doesn't start for them when they're all fit, do they?
no, but when, like I just think that spell of how many games and he just kept fucking scoring. Like why was he scoring? He has no right to score.
He was at Cardiff, wasn't he, when they came up?
Yeah.
A few years ago. He did similar. He was their top scorer.
I just
as well.
don't understand how like.
Yeah.
But he just scores goals, and I love him. And he just plays everywhere. Like he played like right wing back at one point, and then was up front the next game.
Yeah.
He's the weirdest player, and he just scores loads of goals.
In terms of versatility, for sure. Like, yeah.
It's just, and he has no right to score goals in the Premier League.
Yeah.
I just think he's thoroughly outperforming his ability, and it's amazing.
Right. So I go through mine. My left winger is Daniel Podence of Wolves. Now, I think his output.
Can't put
No,
Wolves player.
you can though. Right, his output is not good enough. I agree. I think Wolves are to blame for that more than him though. I think Wolves who scores goals in that Wolves team? They've always just played this
Diego Costa.
boring football. He's not what's going on. And they've always just played this boring defensive football. I think for an attacker like Podence, he's a very technical player. No one really talks about Podence, but I think he's a fun player to watch. Like if you watch Wolves,
It's your kind of player.
my kind of player is the kind of player that you just want to watch them. You just
yeah.
want to watch someone do something special. I think this guy's got it in him.
And that's where we
The way he
differ in
moves as
football.
well, my favourite player ever is Eden Hazard, and this guy just reminds me of him. Like the way he moves, even the way he just runs.
It's your kind of you appreciate the technical side of things a bit more. I just like some big fucker who can run really fast.
Fairs, and that's where we differ.
That's
Quite
why
interesting.
Darwin Núñez is in there
Yeah,
as
so-
opposed to Daniel Podence. They might be the two most polar opposite footballers that have ever existed.
Yeah, I think I just like Podence. Just a personal favourite. I'm a big fan of him.
Fair.
And then my right winger again. I think it's one of these again. I could have been a bit less lazy with this, and I think everyone kind of rates him, but I've gone for Kulusevski.
That's just so bad.
But is it bad? I think
I just don't. I think if anything, he's overrated.
I don't think he's overrated at all. I think he's like.
I think he definitely was.
Even, like that Tottenham front three, like you've got Son and you've got Kane who can drop in, and I think Kulusevski added that balance.
Yes.
And I know Spurs haven't been great. I don't think that's down to the front three. Like when Conte plays with Richarlison over Kulusevski, I just can't get my head around it. Like it doesn't make any sense. Kulusevski's been he's an amazing player. I actually think who's a better winger in the league? Like the league's currently struggling. I make Diaz as a shout, but
and this is why I don't like him.
Yeah, because you're gonna have personal. I just think Kulusevski. I think Kulusevski's better than Diaz.
I
very slightly. It's close. I like Diaz as well.
There's no way.
I think he's better.
There's just no way.
I think Kulusevski is like top three wingers in the league. Like,
I think Luis Diaz is top three wingers in the league.
He's better. Like Salah's not a winger for me. He's just a striker.
Yeah, and I'd argue Luis Diaz is better than Salah.
You can say Foden. I don't really know.
I don't think you can say Foden. Wingers wise,
Mahrez. I've always liked Mahrez. No, not yet. No way.
0-1-7 or something.
7.
So close.
I think Kulusevski's like.
I think
he's great.
I've got too much personal hatred there.
He's a top player.
Just from all the Spurs fans piping up saying how shit Diaz is in comparison, but he just is clearly better than him.
Yeah.
Right.
Striker. So this is the new one.
I wanted to put a very big bloke up front. I really did. But I felt I couldn't just keep putting the biggest bloke I can think of up front. So I went for someone that has had a difficult season in terms of game time because he's been injured. But I still think he goes under the radar in strikers in the Prem. And I think that's Alexander Isak at Newcastle.
Don't hate it. I think finishing wise, he's got things to work on. But like in terms of his general play, his general play is like right up there. With all strikers, like he's
I really want
technically
to put
amazing.
In there.
God, for a while.
I really want to put Weghorst in there because I just think he is amazing. But I think Isaac. What I went to watch Liverpool Newcastle on his debut, and I just remember like he signed that morning for Newcastle. Was playing that evening. I remember watching him, but I was like,
he's a good player.
This guy is scary.
Yeah.
He like every time he got the ball, the crowd like no one was breathing.
Yeah.
And I think there's only a certain amount of players that can
he's
do
very
that.
that Liverpool game he was very good.
He was incredible.
He scored that was an offside goal, wasn't it?
I think
it was like a very good goal.
it was just offside.
Yeah.
And everyone's just fair.
Yeah.
Like usually you'll get a
you can just tell. You can just tell.
You can see just
hopefully he nourishes into a good player and he gets rid of some of these injuries as well because you can just tell that he's got it.
Yeah, it's mental.
Yeah, I've got a couple of honourable mentions before I get into mine because I think there's a lot of underrated strikers in the Prem.
Ferguson as well. I wanted to throw.
Yeah, and Ferguson. I think I'm not going to pick Ferguson.
No, but
I think like he's not underrated because he's only just burst onto the scene. I think he's big. Like he's
a proper.
Like, to me, he looks like Wayne Rooney. Maybe not like Rooney when he popped out when he was 16. I think he reminds me of Rooney, but like more of a striker, like more of a number 9. Like you see his goal. I know it's Grimsby, but you see his goal on the weekend. Like he just took it down on the spin and then finished it.
And he's done that so composed.
In the air, he's amazing. Like I think he's gonna be Brighton's next 100 million player. Like, I think he will be because he's English. Well, he's Irish, but because he's from he's homegrown as well. Like I don't think he'll do Declan Rice. I think he's playing for Ireland, but he's just you can tell how good he is. My other honourable mention is Callum Wilson from Newcastle as well.
Fairs.
Because I think like, obviously Isaac's great, but I think like if you want goals only, which Newcastle don't, because they need the general play as well. But I think Wilson's one of the best goal scorers in the division, and he has been since he's
getting on a bit now. He's still doing it.
He's still doing it. He's obviously had a lot of injury issues, but in terms of just a reliable goal scorer, like he could do well for all teams. And my other striker, my actual striker that I'm picking is Danny Ings, mate. I'm not arsed. I think he's top. I think he's a great finisher.
I love him.
Presses his bollocks off.
I do love him.
He's an ugly little fucker, and that's kind of what you want up front. Just that guy's no defender's gonna like playing against him. He's always gonna be on your ankles, and he's a great finisher. Like he's always had injury issues, and the West Ham move was not massive. I thought he was gonna slap at Villa, but at Southampton he was unbelievable, and I still think he is that good. I think it's just finding a place in a team, you know.
There's some lovely memories of Danny Ings.
Yeah, in Liverpool, to be fair. Yeah,
I do like it. I don't hate that. I think it's Dominic Solanke as well.
Tom Solanke.
He's got to be thrown in the ring.
Can't be throwing Dom Solanke in the ring. There's just no way. I'm not having that.
I think that's all she wrote. What do you think?
All she wrote.
Do you think you beat me?
I don't know. The viewers can decide who won.
Brave.
Whose team do you prefer?
honestly, all your followers are going to be rushing to my Twitter page now once they've seen
I
this.
think so.
And they're all going to be like,
You're gonna have
Balf, you're chatting at
A
your arse.
million viewers on Twitter.
Bobby Reed is a generational
I
talent.
think everyone agrees with that.
You don't know what he's talking about. I think he's like 26 now as well. In my head, he's still 18.
Yeah, I think he's older than 26. He could be 30 for all we know.
It's like how everyone refers to Rashford as a star boy, and he's like 46.
Jesse Lingard vibe. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I suppose that's all she wrote.
That's what we've got for today.
Yeah, I think, future episodes, you need to look forward to this. Was just a bit of an introduction.
Yeah, getting to know
Well, I might
what
have
the
some more-
format is.
Yeah.
We're going to get guests on, we're going to have more segments.
I think there'll be more fun in weeks to come.
We're going to have uncomfortable conversation. It's something to look for. We didn't want to scare you all off too quickly.
Yeah.
Because
If you've hated this, obviously, don't come back.
but
Please do. Every Wednesday, we will be filming this. So
uncomfortable conversation is something I'm really looking forward to.
I think it's going to be
because
a
we
big
have
addition.
a few friends that
Oh,
are
I think we're going to have to get some controversial lads on. For
very
this,
uncomfortable.
This segment. Yes.
And so hopefully that'll be good. And we've got more segments, we've got more people, we've got at least 3 friends.
I mean, let's keep it at 2 for now.
2 friends. We've got 2 friends and one kind of...
One who
on
will
the
come
way.
on just as a favour.
Yeah, one on the way.
Yeah.
One budding acquaintance.
Yeah.
And obviously we've got a gaff as
Clay
well.
behind the camera as well. So, yeah. Clay behind the cam.
So I think that's all we can say for today.
Thanks for watching.
Make sure to follow.
Make sure to follow and
TikTok.
subscribe. Follow TikTok, follow Danny's Parched Instagram, subscribe, like
Get in the
if you enjoyed
description.
it.
Or not.
Or
Even
not.
if you didn't enjoy it, fucking
Yeah,
like it.
simply don't come back, I suppose.
Fuck off.
Fuck off, I got work to do. Cheers for watching.
Thank you very much.
Done.